I can't sleep because I'm afraid someone's gonna come.
Everybody can go bad or go wrong sometimes.
It's not a fun place to be.
No, I didn't expect this. No, I didn't expect to lose everything.
It's a new day in Pomona, but for the homeless people, it's the same routine, living their lives on the streets. They are part of a crisis of homelessness that the city is struggling to find a solution to. More than 900 people in Pomona are considered homeless. Most of them either live on the streets or in temporary shelters. 37-year-old Laquetta Smith is one of the city's many homeless struggling to find a place to stay.
The most difficult part for me being in this homeless situation is not knowing which way to turn. It's depressing, it really is. And sometimes you feel like you can't trust people, you can't talk to anybody, Everybody needs someone to talk to.
Laquetta has lived at the Pomona Armory shelter every winter for the past 6 years. And like many of the homeless who have fallen on hard times, drug abuse was the cause.
And because of that, I lost my family, I lost my job, I lost myself. And I'm very, very willpowered at this moment to just move forward and just keep moving forward.
I started abusing pain medication, and from there I started to abuse heroin. And then from there, I started to abuse myself, my family, and everybody else around me.
53-year-old Earl Linker was a firefighter before drug abuse and crime took him down the wrong path.
Doing a kidnap robbery at a jewelry store, and we got away with it. And it was like a big windfall, man, and a big ego boost, and we thought we were invincible. So we did another. But the second time around, it didn't work so well. And we ended up getting arrested. And after a year and a half of fighting it in the courts, I was convicted and sentenced to 25 years. And I went and did that 25 years state penitentiary here in California.
But now his criminal record makes it much harder for him to find work.
I need a job. I need a job, period. You know what I mean? I'm far from being stupid. But an opportunity for a guy like me is not going to be, very forthcoming, man. I'm 53 years old. They're going to look at me like, man, where's your work history here, dude? I ain't got nothing. What can I bring them? It's like, wow, I don't know, man, but give me a shot, see what's up, see what I can do.
Many homeless people suffer from health problems, mental health issues, drug addiction, and have experienced financial setbacks. The city only has 40 homeless shelters. Many of these are temporary, seasonal, or for emergencies. The hundreds of others who are homeless are forced to live on the streets.
Their quality of life is very poor, and they lose a little bit of their humanity. We see them functioning at a very degraded state. It's heartbreaking to see.
Jan Seco coordinates homeless services for the city of Pomona.
There's also an impact on local neighborhoods. Homeless people tend to stay at parks and places where there's some open space for them, where there might be tables and benches and restrooms. And when you've got groups of homeless people gathered together, and you've got the populations that I just described to you, some with mental health issues, some with substance abuse, and a complex array of challenges with those populations, then that makes our parks less family-friendly.
The issue of where to house the homeless boiled over at a recent city council meeting, putting city residents and the homeless against each other.
A lot of experience with neighbors who were homeless and having fires started and robberies and all sorts of different things affecting me as a resident.
Proposing a shelter in this area, in this lot, it will probably be detrimental for the neighborhood.
Home is, it keeps you together. It keeps you normalized, having a home. You don't have to worry, you don't have to worry about, your stuff. You don't have to worry about where you're going to shower at, how you're going to cook this, how you're going to, how you're going to do this. You don't have to worry about all that when you have a home.
45-year-old Kelly Wilcox lost her home 6 years ago and has been living in a city park for the last 3 years. She says not having a home has taken a toll on her.
I've shut down. It's hard for me to show any kind of emotion anymore, because once you've had everything taken and it's been over, repeated, you kind of almost like, whatever.
Well, if you would have came to me 5 years ago and you would have told me what I'd be doing, I would have said you're crazy. For 33 years, I took a lot of people to jail. I worked a lot of different assignments, and I never saw myself as helping homeless people. I don't say Ron Williams from Lionsgate or anything like that. I just say homeless advocate.
Ron Williams knows these Pomona streets and the people on them. He is a retired police sheriff for the Los Angeles County. His religious faith has inspired him to become an advocate for the homeless. I
found myself standing on a street corner proclaiming the word of God to these homeless people. And but the more we were given food and clothing, I just found that week in and week out, there was no difference being made in their life.
Ron is trying to do his part to help bring some relief to the homeless. He wants to convert an old motel into a shelter called Lionsgate. His shelter will not only give those struggling for shelter a place to go, but provide the supportive services needed to tackle the homeless crisis.
We could provide job training, we could provide medical, dental, we can get them their social security card, number, driver's license, identification, and get them on a road to recovery.
However, the problem has heated up with a group of homeless people suing the city for allegedly destroying their property. Kelly is a plaintiff in the lawsuit. She shot video of city workers seizing a tent with her cell phone.
When they took our stuff, the first thought that went through my mind is my mom's ashes. They were in a box. It's clearly stated, if found, please return to the San Bernardino coroner's office, on the outside of the box. You can see what it is.
The city has now agreed to give homeless people written notice before seizing any of their property. The city is working on a 10-year plan to deal with the housing homeless crisis. It includes educating them, finding jobs, and permanent housing.
The new model today is housing first, where you take somebody straight from the street and, to the extent possible, get them into an apartment, get them into a room for rent, and then begin to surround them with the supportive services that they need to maintain that housing. That's the real solution.
Finding a place to live is only part of the problem. The homeless say that what they need is a job to help support themselves.
There's some here that are homeless because we're just stuck here. We're stuck, I would love to get a job. Before I became homeless, I had 2 jobs.
I am finding myself either putting in job applications or calling shelters or just trying to find a temp job. And that's okay, but the thing is that the finances pertaining to bus passes and just minor things,
But the fact of the matter is, if you can, put some money in your pocket that you earn on your own, man, it does a lot for your whole outlook on everything. It really does. And if you don't have that purpose, man, you gotta have a purpose.